Wait, just go on.
Yep.
Okay. So what's your name?
Excuse me. Letitia Searles.
What is your profession?
I am a juvenile probation specialist for the state of Georgia.
And then what kind of things do you do on that job, like on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, I usually I supervise a caseload of about 30 to 35 children from the ages between 13 and 17. And what that entails is me just ensuring that they follow court orders that the juvenile court system has set in place for them, whether it be counseling programs, programs for sometimes educational programs that they have to participate based on an offense that they may have committed.
How many years have you been working in that occupation?
Just a little tip from direct here.
Okay.
Put, in case you need to edit it, put a little space between
Yeah, that's
your
what Mr.
questions.
Zirkin said too. You guys could be good friends.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Just take a pause before you ask the next question, because that's how you get
Yeah.
good edits.
I gotcha. Alright, so yeah, how many years have you been working in this occupation?
Off and on, I started initially right out of college, and then I stopped for a little bit and tried something different. So I want to say probably 5 years.
And then is there like a certain year that you remember the most?
I would say the most challenging year so thus far was this past year, in 2012, because my caseload was really challenging. I had a lot of intense cases and a lot of intense families and things that were going on that I had never experienced before.
Right. What are some common problems that you found while working this job?
Unfortunately, with working with the youth, I realized that a lot of their issues stem from home, from their family and their environment, and the want for them to belong somewhere.
Do you believe that the way that children deal with their problems today is healthy?
No, not at all. I don't. I feel like there are some aspects of like the pro-social activities that youth get involved in. Those are good things. But I definitely feel like there are some negative things that are going on that they get influenced by that are not healthy at all.
Yeah. Do you believe that if an individual talked to, say, a counselor, it could help them more?
I believe it is helpful. It is one way to help remedy the situation, but I think that in all, it takes a few different factors. If they're, where they get their background, support from their family, good friends and friendships and relationships, as well as counseling. I do think that would definitely be beneficial.
So you think those are some other ways that they could deal with them that are healthy?
Yes.
Do you think holding their problems inside could cause them to manifest and get bigger later in life?
Yes, I definitely do. I've seen that in a lot of the youth I've worked with. A lot of times it's hard for them to communicate what's going on, and so they do keep it in, and it festers and it kind of gets worse.
Is it hard for you to deal with this, like just listening to the different problems that they face?
It is. Sometimes I have to put it in perspective because it's my job, and I have to try to guide them. But a lot of times I can't do it. I can't do anything for them. Sometimes it's just guiding them and hoping that they learn from their mistakes and they can learn to receive the help that we're trying to give them. But all in all, it's up to them.
Right. And then lastly, in the future, how do you think we could avoid problems like this? If there's any ways.
I do feel like there needs to be more pro-social activities that kids can get involved in. It should be a lot easier for them to be a part of something, whether it's at school, it's a sport, music, arts, and these are things that'll keep kids engaged so that they're not looking for someone or something to belong to, and they feel special in some way.
All right, thank you.
Okay, can you do a follow-up, because I'm curious about do a follow-up question about what was an example of one of the issues, as much as you can talk about it. And then
Yeah.
how did you, what are some of the things you prescribed? Like, what was the situation, so, and then what are some of the aspects that were prescribed to help it? No, I want you to ask, you need to ask the question.
They don't hear me ask the question.
Okay, well, you ask the question.
Okay. So if, as much as you can talk about one of the cases, what's one of the major ones that you dealt with, and what were they prescribed with?
I had a young lady who was adopted by a family when she was, I want to say 6 years old, and they already had grown children and were in retirement, and she had a lot of issues with abandonment because she was abandoned by her grandfather and her family when she was like 3 years old, and then she was in foster care until 6 years old. So no matter what they gave her, we put her in a really great school, very great home and environment. This is a different case than some of the other youth that I deal with, where she had a great environment, was able to and had access to pro-social activities, but still engaged in delinquent behavior because she couldn't connect with her adopted parents. And it was really hard for them because they loved her so much. They loved her like she was one of their own, and she loved them as well, but there was just this connection that they were missing. So they had to go through counseling. She had to go to a girls group for a little while just to kind of work on the abandonment issues that, people are not just going to leave her, and no matter what. And even though they adopted her at 6 and she's now 16, she still had those issues that, one of these days they're just going to leave me, by myself. So it's a work in progress, but the family is doing a lot better, and she's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what are some of the things that she can do what are some of the things that they work on to make her feel like she won't get abandoned? Go.
Gotcha. How'd you help her through that? Like, what are some of the things you told her to?
Well, a lot of it was just, I'm not a professional counselor or psychologist, so we kind of had to find a psychologist and counselor that worked with girls who had been abandoned and abused before. That was one step. Another thing was for her to feel secure in herself and have, just to build her self-esteem. So, I always ensured when I met with her that, I always complimented her or asked her how her day was, and, kind of try to find a connection with her as to, something, if it was something she had on or what have you. And it worked I think it worked pretty well. I mean, she would be receptive to my compliments and things. And with the family, I think, working with the psychologist definitely helped in trying to get them to do group activities as a family, try to share more of her feelings. She was a very closed young lady, so a lot of things she would keep inside. So the psychologist, I know, would work with them on different family gatherings, what they were going to do on Fridays as a family, just to try to form that connection, try to be more connected. Because sometimes even as families, we have our day-to-day things, and we feel connected because we're a family, but we're not actually doing things to get ourselves connected. And so I think those were some activities that kind of helped her. Just being a part of, she's an artist, she's very into fashion and designing, and so they really were supportive in getting her classes on that. And I think those things eventually started feeding into her confidence level and helping her feel more connected with her family. But again, it's not totally 100% yet, but it's definitely gotten a lot better.
Anything else?
No,
That was terrific.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
You can't think of anything else?
No, I don't think so.